Phoenix, Arizona's #1 talk show. Welcome to Outspoken with Bruce and Gaydos, second hour of the show.
A lot of people call it the best hour, Gaydos. I hear that often.
So, Bruce, it is the video that everybody's watching.
Oh, my goodness.
I personally don't want to see it again. 7 vehicles involved in a crash on the 60.
Yeah, imagine this. Tuesday morning, just before 7, on the 60, like so many people do every day, and what became a normal commute to work suddenly became a fight for life.
A cement mixer truck rear-ended a pickup truck, and it caused the pickup truck to catch fire, and a woman was inside.
And flip over.
Had to be rescued.
Yeah.
Well, the woman who was rescued is joining us in studio right now. Aymee Ruiz is joining us here on KTAR. First thing I'll say is thank God you are here, and thank God you are okay.
Me too. Thank you so much for having me.
My goodness. How are you before we get into really what happened here? Because everybody's seen this video. It's so horrific. And are you doing okay?
Not mentally, no.
No.
And physically, it's starting to hurt really bad, especially just seeing all the bruises and everything pop up today and all the burn blisters in my finger. I'm just noticing it's just becoming more and more real, I guess.
So you saw the truck coming ready to hit you. Mm-hmm. You saw it in your rear view mirror. Can you take us through that?
So when we came to that congested stop, when we came to that slow stop, we were stopped for like a good 10, 15 seconds.
So all lanes of the 60 are slowed down, and it happens, and everyone's come to a stop.
Yeah, and it's always around that part of the 62 where it starts to get a little bit congested around that time. So it was normal to me that it was like that. And then I just look in the rearview mirror and I saw the truck just coming really fast, really quick, and really, really, really quick. And there's just no time to react then and there. So
you knew you were going to get hit.
I knew I was going to get hit, and I just closed my eyes.
Gosh.
Well, and it's a cement truck, Gaydos.
Oh, I knew.
That's heavy.
In my mind, I thought it was a semi.
Right. That's what it looks like.
I was like, oh my God, I think I'm going to die right now getting hit by the semi.
So you close your eyes.
Closed my eyes and just held on real tight to the steering wheel. And when I took the impact and landed on my side, I kind of just felt around and was like,
right.
Okay, let me grab my phone and try and call Nate.
Okay, Nate is your husband.
Yes. So I called my husband, and
you're still on you're basically upside down. The truck's on its side.
And this is before I'm even noticing any fire at all.
Okay.
I was able to grab my phone really quick, and as the phone's ringing and he answers, I let him know I was just in an accident. And right then and there, I noticed the fire and just immediately started panicking. He's listening to the whole thing on phone. He said it was a 7-minute call log, me trapped in there, screaming for my life, hearing them trying to get me out. He listened to everything as he was running downstairs like a 13th floor construction building trying to get to his car to get to me.
Let's bring Nate in. Nate is the husband of Aymee. All right. And Aymee survived a crash on the 60 on Tuesday morning. So Nate, you get the call. Oh goodness. Did you first words out of her mouth, do you even remember it?
Yeah, I was in an accident. I need to get out of here. There's a fire. Help me. And your heart drops. Yeah.
What were your emotions when that happened?
Just drop everything and get to my car and just get to her as fast as I can.
So you're trying to get to the crash scene.
Yeah, I was working on a 13-story building, so...
And he didn't know where I was, so he had to go based off of my last location on my phone.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
And so I had to run down the stairs while calling my boss, telling him I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And trying to get to my car, and just before I got to my car is when the phone hung up.
Oh.
He said that he could hear all the fire and the people breaking he could hear everything.
So you heard them break the window and pull her out?
I heard them break the glass. I could hear the officer yell, "Get out, get out." And then I can hear some rummaging.
Yeah. You just hear ruffling in the background of the phone.
Yeah. And then all I can hear is just the popping from fire and then eventually the phone just ending the call. Because the phone stayed in the car, I'm assuming, and burned up with it.
Everything.
Oh my goodness!
So,
Nate, when the call dropped, what are you doing?
I had some little bit of hope because I knew that there were people there that were trying to get her out, and I could hear them trying to get her out. So I had a little bit of hope there, but my mind was still just get to her location as fast as you can. And by the time I had gotten to the freeway, the officer had called me with her on the phone. So it was really good to hear her. It was a
Aymee, you're getting
relief.
emotional listening to this. What are you feeling right now?
I just can't imagine what he was feeling. I couldn't imagine getting a phone call like that from him.
No.
And then having the phone go dead.
Right, and then just having the phone just cut off like that, and just listening to all that, just having to listen to me scream and yell for help like that. Gosh. I can't imagine what he was just can't imagine what he was going through.
Well, there were a lot of people that immediately jumped in and helped. We had a Chandler police officer, we had an off-duty firefighter, and there were other
Good Samaritans.
Good Samaritans. Yeah. People jumped out of their cars. I saw folks with fire extinguishers and everything. I mean, it was a concerted effort to help you, it seemed.
It was incredible, for sure.
Yeah, someone with the fire extinguisher and everything. I guess a Parker and Sons truck was hit. And
multiple vehicles. Okay.
Yeah, since it was multiple vehicles, and he had a fire extinguisher in his truck.
Wow.
And so that's what the firefighter and the police officer thought bought them a little bit of time, was him kind of extinguishing that.
How about having an off-duty firefighter there?
Just happened to be driving down the road, right?
It's like God places that person right there for a reason.
Yep, and the police officer not far behind either, pulling right up. Yeah. It's crazy.
So Aymee Ruiz is joining us. Her husband, Nate, they're here in studio. Aymee survived the crash on the 60 on Tuesday morning. You've seen the video. It's everywhere, and it's just horrific. A cement mixer truck rear-ended her pickup truck that was stopped due to traffic congestion, and it caused the pickup truck to catch fire. All right. So when did you know that the pickup, your car was on fire? When did you know that?
After I was calling him and letting him know I was in an accident, that's when I looked back and just seen the fire in the bed of the truck.
And you're now trying to get out.
And then that's when I start panicking and just like kicking and screaming and drop my phone, just start freaking out.
Yeah, and the way it looks, and again, going by it, you tell me, the truck it's not flipped all the way over. It's on on the driver's side door.
It's just
basically.
like leaned over on the driver's side door.
But enough that there's no way to open the doors.
No, so I think the electric must have went out or something, because I wasn't able to open the door, and I was way too weak to even try and break that window. I knew with my own strength I wasn't going to be able to.
I don't think anybody can, Bruce, right? Don't you carry one of those things in your car? Oh, did you bring it in?
I brought it in.
Let's see it. So this, because Bruce was talking about this yesterday. So Officer Larison, I believe, is the one that broke the truck's window.
He used his police baton to do it.
Okay. Yeah. What do you have, Bruce?
So this is an extrication tool for a thing. It has a seatbelt cutter on one end. You can cut the seatbelt in case you can't get that on. And then it has these little metal thing, and they're good little points on the end of them, and they're meant for shatterproof glass. Now, it won't break out a windshield, but it will it'll shatter the sides so that you can push them out. And I carry these. But am I the weird one in the room? I mean, I'm just saying, I have one. I got two cars. I got one in each.
Yeah.
Wow. Everyone's getting one for Christmas.
I think you're probably right.
Yeah.
By the way, on Amazon, 2 for $8.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's $4 tool. It's not expensive.
You put it in your car and hope you never use it. But here's the other thing. You could use it to help someone else get out.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Why don't we pause?
Let's do it.
And you guys stay where, can you stay one more segment?
Yeah.
Because I have a couple more questions.
Deal.
I want to know, and don't answer this yet, but I want to know if the person driving the cement mixer said anything to you.
Ooh.
Because you're all on the road.
Literally standing on the middle of the 60.
And I also want to know how your kids are handling this, because what a scary, scary, scary story. Very brave of you both to come in.
Thank you. Yeah. Aymee Ruiz, her husband, Nathan, with us as well, talking about that amazing crash. You've seen the video now of what happened Tuesday morning on the 60 right there at about Greenfield in Mesa. We're going to take a quick break. Becky Lynn's going to get us up to speed with the all of the headlines. We'll be back with you guys. Gosh, thank goodness you're here. It's coming up next. Outspoken on KTAR. Aymee survived that crash that by now so many people have seen and certainly heard about on the 60 at about Greenfield Tuesday morning, in which her pickup truck was struck by a cement mixer. spun it around, flipped it over onto its side. It caught on fire almost immediately. When you see the video, the truck is immediately on fire, and she was stuck inside it for minutes until Good Samaritans, including a Chandler police officer and a off-duty Phoenix firefighter, as well as other people in cars around, managed to break the window and get her out.
Aymee, tell us how it was when you got out, when they pulled you out. Bring us through that, because they had to pull you through the window as the flames were approaching the front seat.
So right when they pulled me out, it was...
Do you even remember it?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Just because I was going in and out from like all that smoke inhalation and stuff.
Oh.
And that's why like when you like keep hearing me in the video, like just like help me, like just like really weak. Like that's literally all I was screaming.
You're still having trouble breathing at that point.
I felt like there was still smoke in my lungs and everything. So once they got me to the side of the road, that's when I was slowly waking up and saw the truck like completely engulfed. Fire out the windows, just everything. And that's when you start to hear the pops and everything, and you start to see sparks, and it was insane. Then that's when they picked me up and moved me a little more out.
Nate, did you get there? You didn't get to the highway. I mean, there's no way to get there.
No, I met her at the hospital.
Yeah.
What was that like? My God.
It was
You just go and hug her.
aggravating because felt like I just couldn't get to her in time, or you know.
Because he made it there a little early, and they like were just kind of stalling when they brought me in, and they were just kind of, taking their time bringing him back. So he was just very anxious.
Did the person driving the cement mixer that hit you say anything to you?
Haven't seen or heard of him at all.
Nothing.
I don't even know who he is or anything.
Don't even know what his face looks like.
Don't even know what his face looks like.
Do you want to talk to him?
No.
No.
He almost took my life. No.
What was the reason that he plowed into you? Was it that he wasn't paying attention?
If you're looking at the video,
right?
Because the video is from like an in-car camera from somebody following the cement
right
mixer.
behind the cement mixer.
And you can see cars are slowing down and stopping.
Yeah, you can clearly see.
All the lanes. It's not like just one lane. What is there, 5 lanes, 6 lanes out there on the 60?
Right.
And his brake lights aren't on. Yeah. Other cars are slowing down, and his aren't. And at the last second, you see him brake.
Yep.
Then you see him lock up the tires, and then you see him strike the back of your truck.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so he was not paying attention or looking down at something or whatever.
Absolutely.
And did not leave himself enough room, especially when you. I'm going to say this. I drive a truck and trailer as well, just separately. They don't slow down as quick as cars. Yeah. You have to leave, as the driver, professional drivers, like semi-truck drivers know, you have to leave more room. The thing's not going to slow down. Right. Can I point something out that I noticed, and I made a little fun of her outside? But
when you met.
It's not funny. It's a little funny. In the video, you had a lot more hair.
Yeah.
When they pulled you out of the burning truck, now at this point, we flipped the truck back over onto its wheels, but you still pulled out of the window. You had a lot more hair.
Yeah, had a lot more hair. It was way longer.
I mean, a lot more hair.
It was like down
Aymee, where'd all your hair go?
Well, half of it was singed, and I even have like patches of like just hair just gone right here.
Gosh.
My hairdresser had to just make it work, you know.
I gotta make this work. This is an
work.
emergency.
Yeah.
We need to deal with what we got here.
Right, yeah. And I couldn't deal with it no more. It was so coarse, and the smell.
Oh,
and
I bet it smelled that way, yeah.
Well, yeah. And just
Burned hair smells
not good.
Terrible. And even after washing up in the shower a couple times, it just wouldn't go away. And it was just so hard, especially going to bed at night and smelling it and just it being a reminder. Gosh.
So how are you sleeping?
I haven't been.
You haven't been?
Not really.
You're waking up in the middle of the night?
Yeah.
Are you having nightmares?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Any anxiety attacks?
Oh, yeah.
Gosh.
I was already suffering from stuff like that before. And like I said, I was in an accident almost 2 years ago prior. Right. It was already hard for me to get back into driving already. Wow. I was barely back on the road for like a year.
Yeah.
Are you ever going to want to drive again?
I really don't want to right now. Right. No, not at this time. Probably not for a while. I have a lot of therapy to go to.
Well, some of that's probably going to be paid for.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully.
Because I'm sure.
I hope so.
Yeah.
No, we were talking about, who's at fault. I go, well, when you get hit, it's not you at fault if somebody drives into the back of you, you know.
That's
and
law,
again,
right?
the video, the video shows the driver of the cement mixer not reacting to what was happening.
I want to ask about the video. because the video is there for everybody to see.
Yeah.
And Aymee is joining us. She survived the crash on the 60. Her husband, Nate, is also here in studio. You guys have 3 kids, 13, 10, and 5. Have they seen the video?
The oldest ones have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Since they're older and like know about social media, they've seen it. Their friends talk about it at school.
Wow.
It's, yeah.
They see mom get pulled out of a burning pickup truck.
Yeah.
And by the way, not a little fire.
No.
I mean, when they tip the truck back over and they're trying to pull you through, that truck is almost fully engulfed in flames.
Right.
How are they doing?
The oldest, not so good. Not so good.
Yeah.
My daughter, the middle one, she's a little more goofy and has like a more fun personality, so she can make some sort of light of it, which I'm glad she is. But my oldest son, he's not doing well at all. He's very sensitive.
Yeah.
He'll probably have to start going to therapy as well.
When you were in that car and you thought you were going to die,
Yeah.
and then you're at the hospital, when do you get to hold your kids?
When I left the hospital and got home to them,
What was that like?
it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I held them extra tight that night.
All 3 of them.
All 3 of them. All 3 of them.
You get in there, Nate? You get a hug in there?
Oh, of course.
Just making sure you're included, Nate.
Of course.
Oh yeah, that hug. And then seeing him in the hospital was such relief too. Just hugging him and just felt so good. My
Gosh.
whole family was waiting there for me.
Like some people talk about near-death experiences and you're like, were you really? This is a near-death
This is it.
experience.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when you see the severity, not just the hit, which again knocks you a little bit silly. Had to knock you silly when you got hit. You know, nobody's, that type of a jolt to suddenly being on your side and on fire and not being able to get out. I mean, that is the definition of it. And I know you got to meet
The heroes.
the police officer and the firefighter today, right? Earlier today, you got to meet him.
Yeah,
That looked pretty cool.
that was amazing. That was awesome. Wow, just to actually see them in person and in
a normal environment.
In a normal environment, not so much like chaos going on. It was awesome, and just actually having to thank them and hug them and like touch them. It was.
Did you
really
remember their
good.
faces?
Yes.
You did.
Yeah.
So from the accident, you remembered that.
Just from like the interviews and stuff from when they had their interviews. But I recognize their faces.
I know that Chandler was Officer Larison, and I don't know the name of the firefighter.
Asa.
Asa,
Yeah.
okay.
Asa with Peoria Fire Department.
With Peoria Fire. Wow. Well, thankfully,
So
both of them there.
So where do you go from here? You're going to have to. It's going to take time for you to recover from this. Really, the whole family. Is that the plan?
Yeah, we have a long healing journey ahead. Like I said,
More mental than physical.
more mental than physical for
Right,
sure.
for sure.
Yeah. It's definitely going to take time for me.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, by the way, and we have wonderful listeners who by the way, they're so glad that you're here and you're safe. By the way, I'm getting text messages, but one of them said, and it sounds like they're coming from a place where they know, you and the family and you, Nate, as well. You need a good PTSD therapist because that is you are describing all of the symptoms of PTSD.
It's definitely going to be PTSD for a while.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, you're going to get ahead of that. You're already looking into therapy. And
Your hair, I think your hair looks pretty good.
I think your hair looks great.
Out there.
Thank you,
I think it's a pretty good look for you.
Thank you.
I think it looks great.
Thank you.
It's one of
It's
the
fresh
first
for the
things-
summer.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, one of the first things I said is, at least you still got your eyebrows.
Yeah.
There you go.
I still got my
There
eyebrows.
we go.
Yeah.
We find the good in everything, Nate.
exactly.
I
You
appreciate
have
that,
to.
Nate. Good job.
God bless both of you, and thank
you.
goodness.
Yeah.
Thank God that you are going to be okay.
Yeah.
And thank you
you.
for joining us in
We
studio.
sincerely appreciate it.
Thank you for
Sincerely.
having me. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Outstanding. She's Aymee Ruiz. He's Nathan Ferguson. And what a story of survival. What a story of good Samaritans. And we're so glad that you're here to tell us the story yourself. That's outstanding.
Thanks for watching Outspoken with Bruce and Gaydos. Tap to watch more from KTAR News and click the button in the middle to subscribe.